Hello guys, welcome back. This is Modern Man here for our Deck Tech Mondays, and today we have something special. The reason I decided to do a deck tech on this deck in particular is because back when I first started playing Magic, competitively quote-unquote, was in the Zendikar-ish block, 10th edition Zendikar, and one of our friends, we used to play with in my old LGS, would play the Obnixilis Warp World deck. You'd play, like, it was Jund, you'd play Obnixilis, Warp World, like Fertile Ground, and a bunch of mana ramp at the time, and you would just Warp World into Obnixilis. And you would just kill your opponent with all your landfall triggers, hopefully. So, with that being said, I decided to do Warp World in Modern, my take on Warp World. And let's go ahead and jump right into it. So here's the deck list and price. The deck is pretty cheap online. There is a couple changes I'm thinking about making to the deck. I'm thinking about cutting an Avenger of Zendikar and adding a Boggart Hellkite. So if you do go infinite with Eternal Witness and Warp World, you can just win the game from burning your opponent out. But that's about it. The land base you can definitely change up a little bit. You also don't need 4 Fulminator Mages in the sideboard. You could probably play Avalanche Riders over them. If you're looking to cut down the cost. The only reason I play Fulminator Mage is because I have them, so might as well play them. But with that, being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the actual deck. So here are some of your creatures. You have 4 Jorga Tree Speakers, some of the best mana ramp in the format that you can have. 4 Elvish Visionary to help you find your Warp Worlds. It's a good body. 2 mana, 1/1, draw you a card. Just a solid creature. Everybody knows Elvish Visionary. 4 Nest Invaders. It's a mana ramp creature that also gives you an extra card for Warp World, or an extra permanent count for Warp World. And it can, like I said, mana ramp you. Wall of Roots, pretty good mana ramp. 2 cost mana ramp, blocks well, adds mana well. Corsair Crew Fix, just a good card in general. Little bit, not really mana ramp, just card advantage really, and allows you to stabilize against the faster decks. 3 Eternal Witness. The reason you want to play Eternal Witness in the deck is so you can go infinite with Warp World. You Warp World into an Eternal Witness, you get it back. And then you play your Warp World again. 2 Urabrass, so you can win the game if you hit it in like an Avenger of Zendikar and a Craterhoof Behemoth. 2 Avenger of Zendikar, gives you some dude. Like I said, you could probably cut it down to 1 and add a Boggart and Hellkite to the deck. That's what I'm going to be trying out soon. And 1 Craterhoof Behemoth, just because that card's really good with a bunch of creatures and being able to put them all into play at the same time. Here's your spells and your enchantments. 2 Harmonize, some extra card draw. The best card draw in green. So I felt like I should play a couple of them, and it's adding 2 instants or sorceries to the deck doesn't really change your math that much. 4 Warp World, the namesake card. So what the card does is each player shuffles all permanents he or she owns into his or her library, then reveals that many cards from the top of his or her library. Each player puts all artifact, creature, and land cards revealed this way onto the battlefield, then does the same for enchantment cards, then puts all cards revealed this way that weren't put onto the battlefield on the bottom of your library. So you're looking to put basically all of your permanents into play at once and be able to get your opponent. And you're also playing 4 Cryptolith Right. It's also pretty good with your Urabrass to help you go off just in case you don't get enough lands or anything like that. And it makes your value creatures and the mana dorks, which to cast an 8-cost spell you probably need. I'm trying something new with my deck techs here with the decks that don't have very important land bases in my opinion. I'm just gonna spread it out like this to let you guys see it and let easier, less time constrictive on me. But if you guys want me to go back to the old way, go ahead and let me know down below. But for your lands, you have 1 Gavany Township, 3 Forest, 1 Ghost Quarter, 4 Colony Garden. The reason you play Colony Garden is it basically gives you an extra permanent. It creates a 0/1 plant token when it comes into play. The Ghost Quarter's in there to interact with like Valakut in Game 1. Gavany Township's just a really good card if you can't find your Warp Worlds. You can start beating your opponents down. 2 Mountain, 3 Radiant Fountain. The reason you play Radiant Fountain is because if you're going to play a Warp World several times in one turn, you can gain a ton of life off of it. 1 Raging Ravine, you really don't need that in your deck. It's just a cool card if you can get it in there somewhere. 2 Stomping Ground, 1 Temple Garden, 4 Wooded Foothills, and 1 Windswept Heath. And for the sideboard, we have 1 Besiege You. This deck card will normally come in against the control decks. 1 Nature's Claim is good against Boggles, Relic, Affinity. Any deck that plays a lot of artifacts and enchantments. Relic's good against Tarmogoyf decks, Snapcaster decks, Dredge decks. 1 Vandal Blast is also good against Affinity, Same thing with Ancient Grudge. Choke's good against any blue deck, and I just find that card really cool, so I try to play it whenever I get the chance. 4 Fulminator Mage, good against Tron, good against Valakut. And your 1 Thragtusk, good against Burn. Maybe you could play Obstinate Baloth over it and fit some number in there, cut a couple of Artifact Destruction spells. But the reason I like Thragtusk more is because it'll leave a body behind when you play your Warp World. But when we're talking about the sideboard, it's really just, what's the word I'm looking for? Subjective to however you want to build it. There's no, like, you have to play this, you have to play this, you have to play this. It's whatever you want to play in it, whatever your metagame looks like, and everything like that. It's just something I want you to keep in mind when you're looking at this deck. This is just a shell for the deck. You guys can change it however you want. I would like to remind you guys to smash that thumbs up button if you guys like what you see and want to see more. Helps me out, helps you out, helps everybody out, allows me to create more content like this on a daily basis. Also, remember to comment down below with any deck suggestions, play suggestions, anything like that, sideboard suggestions even. Also, remember to follow me on Twitter and like my Facebook page. Both links will be in the description below. Also, you can email me if you guys just want to talk to me about anything and everything. That link will also be in the description below. Also, if you guys like this content, there is probably more content on the channel that you would like. So go ahead and just check it out. I would really appreciate it. Watch my older videos. You know, my quality has drastically improved, so there is that. Remember to subscribe to this channel so you can see more awesome content like this on a daily basis. And I hope you guys have a good night. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.